Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast. I'm your host, Jared, coming off of a scorching cold divisional round. Just right hand in the air. We were dog shit. We were dog shit.
Mhm.
But football, it's a weirdly shaped object. That's why it doesn't bounce your way sometimes. It quite literally bounced our way none times. But listen, there's more football this weekend. The conference championship for the AFC and the NFC are both on Sunday, one at 3, one at 6:30. Thank you, scheduling team, for not having an 8:20 game so my ass can actually stay up for the entirety of it. We have the Kansas City. We have the Kansas City Chiefs facing in Baltimore against the Ravens, and we also have the Lions traveling to San Fran to face the Niners. We've got two games to cover. The last game before the Super Bowl. We have to get right into it. Let's get back onto our winning ways. But before we dive right into these conference championship games, let me bring on my co-host, my right-hand man, my dude. Y'all know him best as Dynell. What's going on, man?
Yeah, what's going on, my guy? Back at it again for a conference championship week. Jeez, I'm so excited I can barely fucking talk. The Super Bowl is right around the corner. This is the last two games, my boy. I'm just loving the fact that so far I've been right, at least on the AFC side, maybe not the NFC side. Sorry, the Eagles. But let's hop into it, man. I'm ready to go and dive into these hits, get some player props out there, man, and come on, man. Let's win some money this week. Like I said, cold week. Let's bounce back.
Yeah, listen, we are going to figure it out. We've got two interesting games. Dynell and I, brief disclosure, have not spoken to each other since last week about these games. So this is all raw.
All right, here we go. So in all likelihood, Deshaun Jackson's going to at least get a return. Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding? Way downtown. Oh, what a shot from Curry. That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
I'll tell you what, something tells me we're going to be on the same side for one, but the opposite for the other. Just to get this out there, Dino, I'm sure you've seen, but the color of the Super Bowl logo,
Oh God, yeah.
very interesting. Last 2 years, besides this year, obviously, we haven't figured out the matchup yet, but it's been suspicious to say the least. And you see the new colors are purple and green. Is that the Vikings and the Jets? Is that the Eagles and the Ravens? I guess we'll find out next year. But we've got this Chiefs Ravens game to dig right into. Chiefs plus 3.5, plus 4, depending on which book you're looking at. Obviously, do your due diligence and shop around to look for the best of the number, if depending on which side you go to. But just on DraftKings, I see the Chiefs are 4. There are some books laying 3.5. My initial read in this game was like, holy shit, Patrick Mahomes. This opened up as 3 when I was doing my digging. I was like, Patrick Mahomes plus 3.5. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that shit looks free. What I will say, I'm on the Ravens. I'm just gonna get that out there. I am on the Ravens -3, -3.5. I have this number at 4, so I don't think there's any value on 4, but I would go grab a 3.5 if you also like the Ravens. I'm just betting this defense. A lot of people I've talked to, they say, aren't you worried about Lamar Jackson in this spot? Like, will he melt down because his whole playoff history? But I kind of saw in the second half against the Texans that he came out, he just looked like he was on cruise control. He didn't look like, he didn't have any nerves. He was going through the motions. And, I know it was 10 to 10.5, but obviously Houston had that kick return to make it a tie game going to half. But the Ravens defense dominated that game. I don't think the Chiefs punted one time against the Bills, and they didn't put up 30 points. That is what I'm kind of seeing here. This Ravens defense, I mean, they're disgusting. I'm pretty sure they led the league in like yards per play, points for the defense, and I can't remember what the other thing is, but yeah, they led in 3 major categories, which is, I think, the first time in NFL history. So, sacks, I think. Maybe it was sacks. But regardless, this is why I lean the Ravens, and it's very simple. Joe Tooney looks like he's going to be out, and Isaiah Pacheco is banged up. You saw Willie Gay get banged up last week. It looks like he's going to play, but I don't think Joe Tooney is going to play. I'm pretty sure he's going to miss this game. If he decides to play, I will be shocked. but that interior pressure from this Ravens defense is going to cause havoc. And we all know the scariest thing in football is watching Patrick Mahomes step up in the pocket and having no idea where that ball is about to fly. I think the Ravens are going to limit that. The Chiefs defense, their biggest thing was limiting big plays from the Bills. But we are not going to sit here and act like this Ravens team is a home run or bust. They dink and dunk and run, and they just do the little things going all the way downfield. And that's why they're so efficient in the red zone, because the Bills, they're such a home run team that they'll get a 60-yard pass, but they'll struggle to go 10. Whereas the Ravens, their game plan is 8 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards. They're chunk plays. And we're not going to act like Mark Andrews might not be back for this game, or might be back for this game. Wow, that is huge. I've rambled on enough, Dynell. Let's hear what you got to say.
Nah, my biggest takeaway from it is, you know what's funny? I did want to dive more into the colors portion of it because you know what's funny? This has been a big discussion.
Go ahead. I'm all ears.
Yeah, this has been a big discussion for the last few days now. I had someone at work come to me, shout out to Davion. Boy came out to me. He said, yo, bro, you see this thing about the colors and how the colors remember the teams and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I seen it. So I didn't, what I'm saying, the whole rig thing, that's what's been going on. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna try to take a stab, right? Because when did the Super Bowl, when did the next Super Bowl promo come out? 'Cause I know it was in New Orleans, but when did the actual colors of the promo come out for the next Super Bowl?
I think a week or a couple weeks ago or something. It wasn't too long ago, was it?
Yeah. Well, what's crazy about it is I haven't seen it yet. I honestly haven't seen it yet, honestly. And I was talking to Davion, and I said, bro, I kid you not. All right. I said, you know what? I'm gonna do a theory, right? So I knew that the Super Bowl was in New Orleans, and I said two things. I said, bro, I'm gonna try to guess the colors, and the colors will kind of pick the teams since we're gonna think it's rigged, whatever. I said the colors can be the two things. One, it can either be blue and red because of the fact that the New Orleans flag has white, blue, and red in it. And I was thinking, well, if it's blue and red, it's going to be the Cowboys and the Chiefs, because somehow, some way, the Cowboys in the last 30 years haven't made a Super Bowl, and all of a sudden now, finally, the 1 year where everything went downhill, they showed the way back up. They have the great talent to do it, and of course, Patrick Mahomes continues his run. But I said the other colors can be one thing, and it matches Mardi Gras, which is, of course, green, yellow, and gold. I did not know that the promo came out and that's already green and gold. So I'm already fucking hot. I'm actually mad about it now because, like, well, damn, I just called the fucking colors already as it is. And I'm like, what's crazy about it is my theory was they were going to leave the purple out. If it was really red, they were going to leave the purple out. It was going to be just green and yellow. And I was thinking, green and yellow. What's the theory behind that? Aaron Rodgers and the Jets going against Jordan Love and the Packers. And I was like, wow, green and yellow right there. You know what I'm saying? Like green and yellow, basically it was going to show one team's color, which is green and yellow, which you would think, okay, that's the Packers. But what's the other team? Why not Aaron Rodgers, right? That dude has been in fucking Green Bay all his career, and he finally gets to go against his former team and going against the predecessor to him, which I think would have been nuts. But the fact that you said it's purple and green,
yeah,
correct?
Purple and green on the
Purple and
bottom.
green. I was thinking more for me, it would make more sense if Lamar returns back again and plays against Jordan Love, a new up and coming quarterback who's going to run the NFC for the next few years. I thought that would kind of be the theory of it, which I just thought it was very fascinating. The fact that when you said the colors, I was like, damn, I was low key spot on, because of course it would match Mardi Gras colors, right? So wow, that kind of shocked the hell out of me. Like I said, I didn't see the promo. I didn't hear about the promo till now. That just kind of shocked me. But either or, that's neither here or there. Let's talk about right now. Lamar Jackson to me is primed to win. Is primed to get there. You know what I'm saying? I can kind of feel it. I said it since the beginning of the year at plus 1,200 odds that the Ravens will represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. I mean, like you said, this defense, oh my God, bro. I mean, this defense has been top notch all year round. The Chiefs are not going against a team who's banged up, as in the Bills, or a team who, he's not as talented as the previous teams they played before. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, at 3.5, like you said, Patrick Mahomes is a dog. You gotta love it, right? But I feel like the fact that it's in M&T Bank Stadium, and his defense is probably is the best defense all year round. And that's going to give Patrick Mahomes and that offense fits. So I really, really believe that, like I said, I honestly believe, I think the Ravens win by a touchdown. I feel like the Chiefs have not faced this competition throughout the whole year until now. When it comes to the postseason, it feels like their problems are fixed. Travis Kelce's catching the ball. He had 2 touchdowns. Where everybody's dropping the ball. Everybody's having fun. But they were in Kansas City. And the vibe kind of feels, this is Patrick Mahomes. They all been here before. Everybody's experienced. But nah, I'm telling you this right now. That Baltimore defense is primed and ready to get to the Super Bowl. I got these boys kind of beat. I wouldn't say beating up on them because you don't really beat up on Patrick Mahomes, but I got them. I got them at least 7 points. So 3.5 to me is a no brainer. And like you said, man, this offense dinks and dunks. They don't really go for big plays. They win by a thousand paper cuts. And as long as they keep cutting that wound, they win for that big gash, and they will take advantage. This defense has not seen an offense like this. You know what I'm saying? Kind of both sided. The weapons on the outside, Lamar Jackson's legs is unlike any other. I feel like the Chiefs are gonna have a tough time really keeping up with the Ravens throughout the game. And come on, I mean, like I said, I ain't got to talk too much about it. I said this is the beginning of the year. Ravens to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I also like the under in this game. I know the public has been slamming the over, but I feel as if the Ravens win this game, it's because they shut Kansas City down. I think if this turns into a shootout, I don't see Baltimore covering in a shootout. I can see
Yeah,
them
nah,
winning, but I
right,
don't see them covering.
right.
But I like the under. I had this game 23-17 Ravens. So I've got Ravens by 6. That was my score prediction. When I run the numbers, I'm crunching at like 4.5. So I mean, the book is sharp, spot on. The biggest thing is I'm just gonna trust this defense. I'm gonna trust the team where they have one of the best red zone efficiency on offense and defense. And they got two teams trending in the opposite direction for health. The Ravens are getting healthier, and the Chiefs are losing key players. So we're gonna back the healthier team. And Lamar Jackson, he's playing at an MVP level. So I feel like this is just the perfect story for the MVP. Yeah, I agree with Dynell. I'm glad we're both on the Ravens. Now, this next one, traveling to San Francisco. Obviously, when I looked at this number and saw it was 7, I'm like, I mean, how do you not take the Lions? There's only one thing that makes me worried. I'm on the Niners because of the Lions secondary. And I know there's question marks around Debo. Like, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? He was 50-50. He was a limited participant in practice today, so that's good. I don't see in a world where Debo Samuel misses this game, truthfully. Like, I feel as if he's been playing with such this fire and emotion and a chip on his shoulder because of the shit that happened last year against Philly that I feel like it's going to take an army to stop, like, hey, Debo, you're not playing. Like, this is the game to go to the Super Bowl. And could the Lions put up 35 points? Absolutely. But I saw something last week that kind of gave me hope. And I know we were on the Niners last week. That's just a misread on us. We should have been riding hot hand with Jordan Love. But if you remember the Lions, every time they play a good team, they either show up all the way or they don't even come to the door. Like, do you guys remember when the Lions played the Ravens and the Ravens curb stomped them? Like, I don't even think the Lions put up a touchdown, or maybe they got a garbage time touchdown, but the Ravens might have won by like 30 points. That just shows you that a well-coached, disciplined team can stop this Lions offense. And I know that was the beginning of the year when the Lions were but they've still been pretty consistent on offense. I just can't get over the fact that this Niners defense has everything that is built to stop a pass-heavy offense. And that defensive line is second to none. They have so much depth that I'm not necessarily worried about David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs as a two-headed monster, because I feel as if David Montgomery's touches are going to be limited and they're going to have to get outside with Jahmyr Gibbs. And we've got one of the best middle linebackers in the league and Fred Warner that's going to be patrolling the middle of the field. And that's where Jahmyr Gibbs seems to go. Those quick cuts to the middle, that angle route, like he is just trying to attack the middle of the field. And I feel like we have one of the best run stoppers and one of the guys who spies the middle of the field. And it's not like Jared Goff's going to take off out of the pocket. I mean, he's going to sit in the pocket and we're going to get pressure. And we already know what happens when you get pressure on Jared Goff. He turns into a pumpkin. So, I like the Niners in the spot, which means we probably disagree. But I just feel like one of these games is going to be a blowout. And I just don't see it being Kansas City and Baltimore. I think the Niners figure it out this week.
You know what's funny, bro? No, I 100% agree with you. I
For
100%
real.
agree with you. Yeah, for real. Only be like I said. That's like I don't want to say this line secondary has gotten lucky because they have definitely balled out. They basically made plays when they needed to. When the moments mattered and they happened, they came through for the team. But I'm gonna give you a couple instances throughout the game. The Lions scored a touchdown, going up 31-17, going into about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The game is about basically dead. Baker Mayfield took that ball, drove down the field within a minute and 30 seconds, and they scored just like that. Mike Evans scored his second touchdown of the game. Now, what's crazy about it is of course the story said itself. The Lions go down. The Lions get the ball bad. They get stopped, and here comes the Buccaneers again. And they get the pick in the middle of the game. Granted, it was a bad decision. It was a bad decision by Baker Mayfield. One, but two, on top of that, man, like I don't see how would I say this? I don't see a play caller in Kyle Shanahan and that collective group of team who's been in that situation before, who has been there, done that, and to basically make the same mistakes the Buccaneers made. Now, granted, I talked about this all year long. The NFC South is garbage. The NFC South was complete garbage. I mean, trust me, I commend Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers for getting as far as they did, because I sure as hell didn't expect them to get where they are. But I'm letting you know this right now. The same things that the Lions got away with the Buccaneers isn't going to happen with the 49ers. That defense is going to put a bit more pressure. And granted, I get it. They somewhat faltered against the 49ers. They faltered against the Packers. Oh, they should have lost. Da da da. But the 49ers prove to you why they're one of those teams. Even when things don't go great your way and they were expected to dominate the game, guess what they did? They go downfield, they come back, they finish the game. And when you give them an opportunity to hit the kill switch, they most certainly did, and they will. I don't believe that the Lions will put themselves in a position to where they will stay ahead throughout the whole game. I don't honestly. Let's be honest. Do you see the Lions scoring 31 points on that 49ers defense? I honestly don't.
I mean, could they? Yes,
they could.
I just don't see it. After they didn't look like, dude. Mike Evans had a field day, and he was really the big Cade Otton and Mike Evans. And now we're getting George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Jennings, Christian McCaffrey. There's just too many elements on that offense for that Lions defense to hang around, because we got this. The story of the Lions is they play catch up because their secondary is so god awful. They're always chasing. They never have command of anything. Like CJ Gardner-Johnson back does help, but he hasn't been in coverage. He's mainly just been a ball hawk. He attacks the ball. And this is one of the teams like the Niners, you cannot be a ball hawk. There's just too many offensive options where it's almost like he's negated. Yeah, he's going to be back there. He's going to try to make a hit. But that's one thing the Lions do. They're physical. I will give them that. They're physical. They will wear you down. They'll make sure they hit you hard. They hit you good. And they're going to wear you out. But I think that's what plays into the favor of the Niners. They just have such a sporadic weapon choice that you really don't know who the focal point of the offense is. Christian McCaffrey at any point in the game he's able to break off for an 80-yard run and completely change the game. They have Deebo Samuel back there. He's going to be running, and he might not be 100%, but just his presence out there is going to make everything else more wide open. This Lions defense is literally exactly what the Niners would want in this situation.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Like you said, the versatility of that 49ers offense, you can put Deebo in the backfield. You can put McCaffrey out wide. Like you said, the versatility is gonna cause fits to that Detroit Lions defense, who, to be honest with you, to me, struggles still to this day struggles. Honestly, like you said, I could definitely see this being a blowout. And they're not in Detroit. It's not Mo City Dan Campbell. This is on the road. Outside weather. Granted, it's not bad weather. You're in Santa Clara, of course, but outside, not at home, not in the dome. We've seen this before. And we've also seen the 49ers handle business when they need to, consistently every year, each year. Now, they even put Aaron Rodgers out of his misery numerous times. And I can tell you right now, I think we can all agree that Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback who couldn't get a gun against the 49ers. I can't see Jared Goff doing it here, man, especially with that defense loaded the way they are.
Yeah, I think the Niners have had a week to figure it out, and I think they roll, man. So Dynell and I guess we're on the same page. We like the Ravens. We like both of the favorites, and I'll tell you what, I think the Lions are either gonna get pissed on or they win this game. I really don't think there's any in between. I feel like if they hang around, it's because they win, and if they don't, it's because they got blown out. So, yeah, I think we're gonna get the Super Bowl color script, the Ravens and the Niners in the Super Bowl. And then we'll have to. I think this is where the Taylor Swift tour ends. You never know. A little bit conspiracy theorist. Yeah, this is probably the best marketing that the NFL has ever received, and it's from someone who doesn't even play the sport. They're dating some guy on the football team. So, yep, those are our choices for the AFC and the NFC championship games. I like the under in Baltimore. I also like Baltimore spread, and then Dynell and I also like the Niners. And Dynell likes Baltimore. So, yeah, two games covered. Was there any props that you were looking at? I really haven't dug too much in the props. I really just feel like there's no value just because, everybody's betting it. Was there anything that stood out to you?
Not really stuck out because Christian McCaffrey is going to have a day. That's kind of like my synopsis because of his versatility. He's going to expose those linebackers in the middle and kind of go out wide. Honestly, honestly, not really. There's not really too much great value out there. And trust me, Christian McCaffrey, 2 touchdowns at this point is damn near negative money, which is fucking ridiculous.
I know that is insane.
So Christian McCaffrey's going to have a big day. You can argue George Kittle. I liked George Kittle last week against the Packers. I like him again this week because I feel like he can definitely soften up that middle a lot, especially if they're going to get exposed. And I expect Brock Purdy to have a way better game than he did last week as well. So if you want to do a little sprinkle on Brock Purdy over passing yards, you most certainly can. But I can definitely see it. Chris McCaffrey's kind of like my biggest thing, and his value, of course, has been diminished since fucking week 1 of the NFL season.
Yeah, props are definitely down the drain, but he said it best. This has been our conference championship episode for the Shred the Spread podcast. I'm your host, Jared. He's Dynell, and for our awesome producer, Tyler, holding it down behind the scenes. Until we see you for our Super Bowl special episode, we will have props, totals, sides, all that and more in the next episode. Thanks again for listening to the STS podcast. Until our Super Bowl edition episode, we'll see you.
Peace.